Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about how the Netflix live action Avatar The Last Airbender Season 2 series actually has more episodes than that of the animation Season 2, but yet they leave out way more and have a more conjointed, narrative and everything. I don't understand how the heck that is possible. Now, I know what you're gonna say, that the animation has more episodes than that of the live action, because the live action has 7 episodes, but the animation actually has 20. Well, you gotta do the math. And so, per my better judgment, I decided to watch more episodes of the live action series because I wanted to see Toph and everything. And in episode 2, at first I was kind of vibing with it, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, this is Zuko alone. So I'm like, are they gonna spend a whole episode on that? But no, they do what they always do best. They cram about 3 episodes in. And so, as I'm watching and everything, I noticed they started to change certain personalities, certain backstories, certain ways things happen. And I'm just like, they're doing the blender thing again, where they just take, episodes, put it in a blender, and smear it all around and having everything feel so confusing. But then I'm all like, they're just leaving out key moments and key dialogue. Like when Iroh appears out of nowhere to help Zuko and the others fight like Azula and everything in the marketplace. Now, yes, technically, that happens in the animated series as well. He just appears out of nowhere. But there's a line of dialogue that happens before that scene ever takes place in the animation that never takes place in the live action. In the live action, he just appears completely out of nowhere. And it's like, where the heck did you come from? But in the animation, he meets Toph and they start bonding over tea and the problems they're having. He's having a problem with Zuko. She's having a problem, with her overbearing parents and trying to teach like the Avatar and stuff like that. And so she asks, plain and simple, where is your nephew? And he tells him, he has gone his own path, but I secretly have been following him and everything. Here, and you never see him follow him. You just get that line of dialogue. So when he appears out of nowhere to help Zuko out, we know it's because he secretly still cares about Zuko and is going to protect Zuko and is going to follow Zuko. Here, it just kind of happens with no explanation whatsoever. And then Toph just kind of appears completely out of nowhere to help out Team Avatar and everything. And I'm just like, you could have added a little something in to make that flow a heck of a lot better. Then I was reading on some website how the creator talking about they left out a lot of important episodes. The swamp, the drill. Ooh, the drill pisses me off. I love the drill. And how there are no sand benders and this and that, right? I'm all like, okay, I get it. Budget and time restraint. They only got 7 episodes and stuff. But then I stopped and I did the math because as I'm watching episodes, I'm like, man, these are some long, stinking episodes. They're like an hour long. Then I'm like, hold up. If they're 60 minutes long and there are 7 episodes, then that means they're like 20 minutes a piece per episode. So if there are 20-minute intervals in that one episode, technically when you do the math, 7 times 3 is 21. So technically they got 21 episodes this season, because last season they had 8 episodes, so that's more. But yeah, they have 7 this time. So it's technically they got because in animation, Episodes are about 22 minutes long or so, right? So they got 21 episodes. Comparing that to 20 episodes of the animated series, yet the animated series told like a whole lot more story and everything. How do you fumble that? Now, it would have been smarter if they would have took those 21 episodes and cut them up into 20-minute episodes and do it like that. But I know in live action, they really don't do action dramas like that. Oh, but they do. In the year 2000, there are two shows I review. One is called Jack of All Trades, and the other one is Cleopatra 2525. They had the recurring guest star cast of Hercules and Xena have their own show, and it lasted for 20 minutes, and they told a heck of a lot in that live action 20 something minutes. So they could have done that here with Netflix, and it would have felt just like the animated series. But even if they don't, and they're combining 3 episodes and mixing stuff around, how are they still telling an incomplete story? I don't know how that is possible. They should be able to tell a heck of a lot more, show a heck of a lot more, and combine it to where things flow from one narrative to like that of another. Sometimes they can have things flowing a bit better, like the Zuko alone story and stuff like that. But it's like they're mixing crap around and things just aren't making no sense because season 2 takes place a couple of weeks after season 1. How in the freak nuts is that possible? And Aang looks like a grown teenager. He started the show when he was 12. So did the actor. Now the actor is 16. This dude don't look like he don't look like he's 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? But when Azula meets him and everything, she's all like Zuko or Zuzu, I can't remember which one she calls him. She's all like, this is him, this is the Avatar. He's a boy and everything, or like a kid or something like that, she says. I'm like, the dude's not a kid. The dude's like a teenager. He's almost a grown man. And it just doesn't work because the dialogue doesn't work. And just like when Ty Lee, shut down like Qatar's, bending and everything with her pressure points, the actress, when she says it, the Qatar, she says it so flat with no emotion, no facial expression. And it feels flat. And the cinematography feels flat. Nothing feels like you're moving as stuff is going. When they have action scenes, that's really good. And they do some really cool stuff. They move the camera only side to side. Nothing's really going up. Nothing's going down. Nothing's spinning around. It's just all very, very flat. And the animated series did it a heck of a lot better. I don't get that crap, Netflix just didn't want to give them the budget because I noticed a lot of the background stuff doesn't look as cool as it did in season 1. And so I did a little bit of an experiment. Because the dialogue and the acting isn't that great this season, I decided to mute the episode. But I couldn't, but of course, you can't hear the background music or the sound effects. So I'm all like, you know what? I'm gonna change the language. I changed it to that of Asian language and everything. I think I had Chinese, Japanese, something like that. I can't remember which one. Even though I have no idea what the heck anybody is saying, it sounds better for some bizarre reason. The people who are dubbing this did a better job than the actual actors and everything, which is kind of sad to say, and I hate saying that, but it's the honest to God truth. You get a different experience when you listen to it in a different language, but The story is still very flat and linear and everything. But back to my original statement, I don't understand how in the world they're able to tell a whole lot less and they have more episodes and everything. Like, that just don't make no sense. They have one episode more than the animated series, yet they leave so much good, juicy stuff out. Season 2 is really mixed. So like I said before, season 1 I thought was pretty good, pretty solid. My only problem was how they changed things around and how there's no emotion and how some of the acting was. But that was about it. Other than that, it was a pretty decent, solid show. This season just feels like a mess. And the reason why I'm just so irritated, because like I said a long time ago when I reviewed season 2 of the animated series, season 2 is my all-time favorite and everything. So I'm looking at it a whole lot harder and stuff. Kind of like how when Toph leaves her parents to go with the Avatar, it is completely different than that of like the animated series. And now the Boulder is the one tracking her down. And like instead of that one dude, and it's the mom who's pissed off and hires them instead of the dad. It just, why change all this for? Like, why? It don't make no sense. Like, just leave. Like, they should have just left it how it was and just improve on it. You don't have to change things around. Just add more scenery, more dialogue, more action, more something, but build on what the original was. Here, they're all like, let's just do our own thing and turn everything around and blah, 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 blah. And I don't get that. And just like I said in my earlier video about balance of the genders and everything, I'm noticing they're giving more of the female characters things to do in the live action series, which is weird. Because like I said before, whether it's live action or when it was the animated series, there were a lot of strong female characters and stuff. They held their own and they were people you can look up to and stuff. So I don't know why they're giving them extra material, trying to boost them and make them more interesting when they were already interesting in the original series and stuff, you know? I mean, technically, Toph Mom didn't do much in the animated series, but who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, let her father be bad. You know what I'm saying? And Zuko's mom, like, the reason why she got banished is completely and utterly different than what it was in the animated series. In the animated series, there was actually a tiny bit of justification as to why she was banished, but she was in the right. In the animated series, she did a horrible thing, a treasonous thing. They don't say what it is, but you get the sense of what she did. She assassinated the Fire Lord, her father-in-law, and everything, because Zuko had embarrassed him by like not being able to bend as well as Azula, and he didn't like that. He didn't like his lineage having a downgrade and everything. And because the Fire Nation is based off of Nazi Germany and everything, there is no room for imperfection and everything. So he wanted Zuko, you know what I'm saying? And when his mom found that out, she's like, heck no, we ain't gonna do this. So Ozai's all like, you know, he's the Fire Lord and he makes the rules, blah, 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 blah. So she came up with a plan to change all that. She came up with a plan to get rid of the Fire Lord and to make Ozai the new Fire Lord over that of Iroh and everything. And that was treasonous and everything. And so he banished her because he didn't want to kill her and everything, because that's his wife. And he does love her to an extent and everything, you know what I'm saying? But she literally murdered her own father-in-law. and because he was gonna have his grandson murdered and stuff. And it's just like, that's deep for a freaking cartoon. Why can't they do something like this here? You know what I'm saying? I just need to get that out. But this is the point I was making. It's like you got all this cool stuff in the animated series, and they was able to tell that in 22 minutes. Here you have 60 minutes. You chop that up into 3 intervals of 20, and you should be able to tell the exact same type of story, but add on to it. And they can't do that here. They don't know how to write, and these people don't know how to direct. And I'm starting to think maybe it's just not the actors who's doing like a bad job. Maybe it's the directors who's making them act that way. Like, who knows? You know what I'm saying? But now I see why the original creators left. Like, I am still happy this is not as bad as like that movie, but it's starting to feel that way now. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.